What's up everyone, WizardKen here with another Xbox One World of Tanks video. Today we're going to be looking at the Jagdpanzer E-100 and we're going to be doing a first impression / review of this tank. Now you're probably wondering why I'm doing that. Well, the problem is, if you're new to the channel, welcome, but I'm going to explain this a little bit. We usually do a first impression video, which is we take out the tank within the first couple of games of me playing it and stuff like that. And what I mean by that is usually I try to save my new tanks for a review, you know, like a first impression look video, and then I play a whole bunch of games and then I do a review video also. Well, unfortunately my recording stuff has been pretty messed up lately since my one audio piece broke, and then I got a new headset, but unfortunately is not working properly. I did find a way around it, but until I can get my new cords in, which I still have no idea when they're going to be coming in, I can't do any platoon stuff. Anyways, getting back on track. So I've played a good amount of battles with this, so I thought I would do everything all together, which does make it a lot longer video, which I hate, but unfortunately that's what we have to do to be able to do this first impression and review. I just didn't feel like a first impression video would be a good idea because I have played this a lot, so I do know what to expect with this tank and stuff like that. So I thought I'd just put it all together. Anyways, guys, on Sunday I want to apologize for not doing any live streams and stuff like that, but my wife's back was still hurting her pretty bad and stuff like that, so I stayed home from work to take care of her, and I didn't do any live stream because I really need to make sure that she didn't do anything, lift anything and stuff like that. So I apologize for that, but we will be doing once again some more live streaming on Saturday and Sunday, and I think I might be doing some live streaming tonight and also tomorrow with Ronin. It all depends on what we're able to do. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about the stats of this tank pretty in-depthly, and we're also going to be reviewing the armor of this tank pretty in-depthly. So if you want to hit that skip button, hopefully I put it up there and stuff, so you guys can hit that if you want to go straight to the battle. But I really encourage you guys to look at the stats and also look at the armor and stuff like that, because one of the things I don't like about World of Tanks, and it's one thing that I have always thought wargaming should change, is how they address the armor system and stuff like that. They don't exactly tell you how much armor these tanks have. What I mean by that is right now you can see it has 200 millimeters of thickness of armor in the front of the hull, but the problem is that technically it's not really 200 armor on all of the front of this tank. So we need to really look at that so you guys know what to watch out for, how to use this tank properly, or at least as well as I can explain it. Excuse me, and stuff like that. But anyways, let's get to the stats, and then we'll go to the armor, and then we'll jump into a game. Alright guys, so let's talk about the stats of the Jagdpanzer E-100. The hit points on this thing is 2,200, which is a really good amount of hit points. There are, you know, the T-92 and some artillery that are just going to knock that hit points way down. If you get hit by the FV-183 215B, which is better known to all of us as the Death Star, or even another Jagdpanzer E-100, it's going to hurt. But you should be able to survive at least one hit. I have been one-shotted by the T-92. It's crazy, but yeah, I have been one-shotted by that, and I think the Death Star can also one-shot you if it gets a high enough roll and stuff like that. And pretty much a lot of tanks, you know, those heavy hitters can ammo rack you and do like extraordinarily amount of damage in one hit and stuff and kill you, but for the most part, you should be able to take a couple of good hits with this tank and keep moving. Now, the speed on this thing, unlike the mouse, now you see this thing, it's pretty big. You know, the mouse is a huge tank, and this is really just as big almost. But the nice thing about this is still don't go in 20 kilometers per hour like the mouse does. This thing goes 30 kilometers per hour, which is not a bad speed for as big as this thing is. It's not bad at all. Now, the whole armor, like we were talking about, is 200 in the front, 120 on the side, and 150 on the rear. Now, when we go into the armor, we look at this more closely, you're going to notice that there are some spots that aren't quite 200, or, you know, you're going to see that it is more than 200 on the front of this thing, and you're going to see how nasty this tank can actually be. And hopefully we can get a good game out of on here so that we can show you how nasty this tank can be. Now, the gun on this thing is actually pretty big. It's one of the biggest out there, other than, you know, artillery. It's a 17 centimeter that you get with this tank, and it is nasty. This thing shoots a rate of 2.33 rounds a minute, which is not amazingly fast, but you are faster than a Death Star. I believe this takes about 24 seconds to reload, technically altogether, and a Death Star takes about 30 seconds to reload. So, sorry, I had it in my notes. It's 24 seconds. Yes, it is actually 24 seconds. So, I was right on that. The penetration for this gun, now this is just standard rounds, is 299 penetrations, which is actually pretty badass. Now, I've played this tank a lot, and I do recommend probably placing some premium rounds on there too, because the premium rounds do about 420 penetration on this thing, which is more than any armor you're going to face in this game. This thing is going to be nasty when it hits something. So you should carry some of those premium rounds. I don't. It's just because I don't want to waste any money, because let's take a look real quickly on how much these supplies are going to cost you. About almost 7,200. So almost just as much as the Death Star. I believe the Death Star does about 8,000 silver a shot or something like that when you use the Hesh rounds. So I would definitely say, if you're going to use that premium ammo, just make sure you have a decent amount of bank and don't use it very much. 299 penetration is more than enough for most tanks on here, and you should be able to penetrate them pretty easily. But there are going to be those times that you're not going to be able to pen, and it might be nice because they have a hold down position that you might want to be able to penetrate them with that 420 penetration and stuff. Now the damage on this thing is standard about 1,050, so not bad at all for the amount of damage you could do. I've wrecked with this tank a lot because of how much damage it does. It's a really, really nice tank. It really is. There are some problems with it that we're going to look at. Not probably, but we are going to look at while we're in the battle. And also when I review this tank at the end, I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. So, the pros and cons about what I like and what I don't like about this tank. So, anyways, let's go look at the armor, guys, and talk about that in depthly, and then let's jump into a battle. Alright guys, so let's take a closer look at the armor of the Jagdpanzer E-100. Now, I'm using a tank inspector. There's a lot of them out there that you can find on the internet. I'm using a web browser one. It's called tanks.gg, and if you go there, it'll let you do like tank inspectors and stuff like that. Now, this is based off of the PC version, but it should still be pretty damn close to what the Xbox version is. Anyway, so in the stats, we said that the armor in the front was 200, 120 on the side, and 150 on the rear. So let's take a look at the front of the armor and stuff like that. So, like we said, 200 on the front. Now, you can see right here, it's saying the effective armor is 321. But if you look right underneath that in the white part, it says armor 200. That's the actual armor thickness, okay? Now, when you add the angling in there, which I'm trying to make sure that this tank is completely looking straight at us and flush straight up and down, the effectiveness of this armor is about 321. The reason is for this is because how slanted the front of that armor is. You can see right there, it's pretty slanted. So it's a ridiculous amount of armor that gets increased because of the slanting of the upper glacis. So it's a decent amount of armor right through here. It's pretty badass. So you're going to be able to bounce a good amount when you're just fighting at another tank. Now, if there's another tank that's taller than you, still look at that. Even if a tank is a little bit taller and we're losing a little bit of that angle, we still got about 300 penetration. So it's not bad. That's why a lot of people bounce off this thing, because that upper glacis, because of it being so angled, it's just ridiculous. Now, the lower glacis is not as quite angled as that upper glacis is, but we're going to look at it right now. Now, the armor on that is 150 millimeters thick. So, once again, like I said, this is one thing I don't like about looking at the stats on the game, because the game doesn't give you the full amount of armor that are actually on these tanks and stuff like that. It doesn't incorporate the angle of the armor and stuff like that. It just tells you the thickness. Plus, the thickness that it's telling you is not actually accurate at all. You know, you're pretty much guessing what's going to be at 200 unless you use a tank inspector like me. Anyways, this lower glacis is 150 millimeters thick. And as you can see, at it being angled, it goes up to 264. So most tier 10s and 9s can penetrate this, but that's still a good amount of armor. it's not bad at all. You can still bounce, especially if you angle a little bit. Now, you got to remember, too, you can only angle so much because that gun is only going to be able to go like that. So a little bit of angle you might be able to get away with. A little bit more armor, but not really. It's not really going to affect you that much. Now, let's move this back to 0 if it's going to work. Yes, there it goes. All right, -1, 0. All right. All right, so let's look at the rest of the armor. Now, this is a little bit less thick right here at the upper part of the glacis. It's a little bit lower, but it's not bad. No one's really going to pen you there. Now, let's look around the gun mantle and stuff like that. Now, if you remember on the actual tank itself, this is where the gun actually is held on to this upper part of the gun mantle and stuff like that. It's just held right on here with this upper plating here. And as you can see right here, no one's going to penetrate that. That's ridiculous thick armor there, but they can knock out your gun. But anyways, if we look at the armor actually around the gun, this is why a lot of people like doing hold down positions with this tank. It's really, really nice because you got 250 thickness of armor, millimeters thickness of armor, but all the way around this thing is about 270, almost, you know, in certain spots 300. That would be because that's where I think it connects to another piece of armor in the back here. So where it's welded around, it's going to be a little bit thicker, I guess you could say. But anyways, you're seeing pretty much 280, almost to 300 around the gun mantle and stuff like that, the armor that's holding that up. Now, as you can also see too, one of the weak spots I've noticed on this tank so far is, of course, one thing that I always try for, and this is the hatch right here. It's only 160 millimeters thick. You know, depending on how tall you are compared to the other tank, your efficiency or the effectiveness of this armor and the way it's slanted, it's anywhere between 150 to 200 or 160 to 200 something, you know. So they're probably going to pen you there and stuff like that. So anyways, looking to the side, like we said, the armor is supposed to be wow, okay. All right, so that's the 100. Okay, here we go. So we said the sides were 120, but you can see up here the thickness is actually more than that. It's 150 plus the angling of the side is 161, but most people are going to pen you anyways. Here's where your I guess this line right here is where your 120 millimeters thickness comes in, and then that's including the I think right there where it says 60 millimeters is where it's like spaced armor is included in this. So adding those together pretty much brings it up to 185. So this is pretty neat that it's actually adding the different spaced armor and stuff like that. As you can see down here, it's a little bit thicker. So that's why some people bounce off the side of these things. I've seen it happen. I've done it, and I'm like, why am I bouncing? Because you got a couple things of spaced armor in there, and you can see that from, if we can get a better inside look. You can barely see it up here, but that's the original armor. And then this is just the spaced armor, which is 60 millimeters thick. You can see right here, that's 120. So that's pretty neat that this actually calculates that into it. Looking at the rear, of course, we're supposed to be 150, which we do see that, and it pretty much doesn't change anywhere on here. This lower part does go up, but of course, pretty much everybody tier 8, 9, and 10 are going to pen you anyways. Alrighty guys, so let's go and take this thing out for a spin and see how we do. Alrighty guys, we're on Redshire Standard Battle. I apologize. We loaded in right when it hit 0 marker, so we're going to go over the tanks really quickly and then get into the field. Alright, so we have tier 10s, tier 9s, and 1 tier 8. Awesome. We're not going to look at the tanks that we're going to be worried about until we can actually move out and get into position, and we'll start looking at them. One of the things I want to show you real quickly is, as you can see, the speed is pretty decent like we talked about. We are going downhill a little bit, but you know, it is still nice to have that ability to do that. I don't know what this guy is doing, but okay, maybe he knows me. Cool. What's up? One of the things I want to show you too is the limited turret rotation. I mean, not rotation, but movement of the gun. As you can see here, it's very limited. You don't have a lot of movement back and forth, so you know, trying to shoot somebody on the move is going to be somewhat hard. it it can be very challenging with this tank because you're trying to zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Which the aim time is not bad. The accuracy on this thing is 0.34, so the accuracy is awesome. It's just, you know, trying to get that aim time in there and everything else. I mean, it's just, it can be very annoying. The other thing I don't like about this tank is the, you know, the traverse is nice on here. It's not bad. As you can see, it's not bad for a heavy tank like this. But one of the main problems I have with this tank is just being, you know, since it is still kind of slow, it only goes 30 kilometers per hour. You know, damn, and we've been hit. So we need to find ourselves a new spot. We need to find ourselves a new spot. Because they're going to be able to see us there. I need to be able to stay back far enough so that I can shoot at them, but them not shoot at me. Because this is going to be kind of nasty if we can't get a good enough spot to shoot at them from. There we go. There's an IS-7. We can only see his turret. Oh, so the E-50M actually might have been the person that's spotting us, which is not the greatest thing in the world. We can't see around this house. But I'm hoping this guy forgot that I was here. What did he do? Uh-oh. There's a T-30. We're going to knock 3/4 of his life out. He's going to bounce off of us, which is nice. This tank, when you're in a hold-down position, really, really nice. Do some massive damage. The only problem is that majority of the other team did not go the other way, so we might be subject to artillery fire very soon. So you can see that reload, man, that not doing the greatest for us at the moment. But we did get another good hit in there. As you can see, I'm not letting my my tank zoom in very much. I am taking some wild shots. I do not recommend that at all. My crew's not the greatest, but I am able to hold off that T-110E4 long enough for the artillery to shoot at them. But like I said, if you're in a hold down position with this tank, you're going to be pretty nasty. I must say, you're going to be pretty nasty. There's an IS-7. We're going to take the shot because he's giving us his side. And there is the artillery we have been waiting for. And so now I don't want to stay in the same spot. I really do not want to stay here any longer. I'm definitely probably going to stop shooting at these guys over to the left because they're giving me away. And there's the E-50. He's going to try for me. Oh, and we missed. That was terrible. I need some help. I need some help, people. And they're not going to give it to me. And this is probably going to be the end of our ride today. Because our team is just lacking on helping me. There's nothing I can do. He's just got me. There's nothing I can do. Well, unfortunately, we did die very, well, I wouldn't say quickly, but this is why I say this tank is very situational. Not because of the maps or anything like that. But the problem with this tank is that it is slow. You have very limited gun turret and stuff like that. It's good on, you know, maps that are close area proximities like cities and stuff, but it is also good with long range stuff because of the accuracy. But as you can see there, if your friend, you know, if nobody's gonna stay there and help you out, you're probably gonna die. You're probably not gonna make it. Alrighty guys, so we made 26,000 in silver, even on a defeat, 770 in experience points. We didn't destroy anybody, but we did 3,213 in damage, 3 penetrations. Let's see, we detected 2 people, 996 in assisting because of that artillery, thank you. 750 in blocked damage. So you can see this is how it's done. That's one of the operations kind of thing. We got 1.25 in experience points. Now, we came in second place because, of course, we did most of the damage on the game. The artillery came in first. Well done on him. But as you saw on that game, pretty much our main problem with the entire game was that the lack of support. And that's one problem you're going to have because if you go, you know, to try to help out a couple of guys that are going by themselves on one side of the map and everybody goes to the other side, if those other guys get rolled over, you have no retreat. I mean, you only go 30 kilometers per hour, and it does take you a while to turn around. And so you're pretty much stuck there. So if you pick a spot to go to, you're pretty much dedicated to that area that you're going to with this tank. You really do need supporting people there to help you out and to help you be able to survive. Because as you saw with that E50, what was it, E50M, I think it was, Sweet Joy, what was he in? I'm trying to see. Sweet Joy, E50M. You know, facing the E50M, he just got around us. He had the better speed. There was nothing we could do about it and stuff. So let's look at the efficiency. 449 damage in assisting, but we did 1,102 in one shot, which is nice. We did 1,103 damage in one shot to the T30. He had assisting damage is 547, not bad. IS-7, we did 998, which isn't bad. In the E50, yeah, we didn't do anything to him, really. 10 damage inflicted on this enemy. I don't know. Yeah, oh yeah, we backed into him. I was about to say, how did I do that to him? But we backed into him. Alrighty, guys, we're in Fisherman Bay Standard Battle. Alright, we're going to be going against Tier 10s, 9s, and 8s. It looks like 1 8 and 1 Tier 5. Chafee, that's it for him. So we might have got, yeah, we've gotten the raw deal on this one. I don't understand matchmaking on this. This is very, very pathetic. There's a lot of platooning going on right here, and I'm very much worried about what's going on. So let's go get set up somewhere and see what we can do. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. I'll do my best to comment back to you guys. I don't know what's going on there. My audio was acting weird. I don't know if your guys' audio was acting weird, but mine was. So, well, we definitely aren't going to go out there because right now, looks like there's a lot of guys. Oh, man, I don't know where he disappeared to. Oh, I hit somebody, and it was not the Chafee. Wow, that was a definitely a luck shot on that. These guys are definitely doing their job and coming up here and spotting us, stopping us from getting over to that corner that we really, really, really need to get to. I'm kind of worried about this one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys are amazing. And like I said, I apologize for videos like this not being put up. But it's taken me a while to figure out what I need to do to fix the problem I was having with my current recording situation and stuff like that. Ever since that part broke on my Xbox controller, it's basically like an audio and mic splitter for the Xbox controller, and what it does, it allows me to split the audio off again to my Elgato, which allows you guys to hear the platooning voices and everything like that, but it also allows you guys to actually hear the audio in the game. But I figured out a different way to work everything, and it's a temporary fix for the problem, because the way I have an idea, and it should work, is I'm going to use my new Mixamp Pro and give you guys 7.1 surround sound. You guys are going to be hearing exactly what I hear. Now, whether or not YouTube will allow that to happen, in a sense, because quality does go down when you're on YouTube and everything, so that is a problem that we may face, but it should work pretty well, I would think. In theory, in my head, it should work well. And I'm pretty good with electronics and stuff. Pretty good with figuring things out and making them work. So, T125. Knock the crap out of him and finish him off. We do not need him there spotting us like crazy. Just like this AMX is getting spotted. Not good for him. Not good at all. Alright, so like we talked about in the first battle, some of the things we're going to have problems with is, you know, getting from one point of the map to the other, and then just being aware of how quickly we can get to those spots. You know, one of the things we're going to have a problem with right now, and I think that's the guy we hit, to be honest with you, is getting back to the flag in time to be able to help protect it. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to have to start heading back. I just don't see us doing very well in the position that we're at. I think we're going to have to come back and help protect the base. Now, the E-100 wants us to cover him, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm going to try and help him out. I think he's going to need as much help as he can get over here. And maybe this bush might be able to give me some help. The problem is that the ground, you can see where it's getting darker. That means it's getting closer to the ground, to like sea level. And we're still high up, but the problem is that these guys are going to be able to hide themselves pretty well. Oh man, he just... Oh, we missed completely. Problem is that they're going to be able to dip down, kind of like what they're doing now, and I'm not going to be able to see as much of them when they do that. So, I'm still reloading, dude. As soon as I get a chance, I'll knock the crap out of that STI, because that is a nasty tank that needs to die. Alright, ammo racked. Did his top fly up? Yeah, his top must have flown off on that one. That is funny. Alright, we got an IS-7 coming up this way. He's probably going to try to put the hurting on the E-100, which I see that probably happening. We got a T-110E-5. He's almost dead, though. I'm not seeing him doing very good against... There we go. T-110E-5 has just been knocked around. We've got a Foch. Gotta worry about that. IS-7's still over there. How's our E-100 doing? Alright, he's looking good. He's looking good. And this is all we need to do. Now, we are, you know, a nasty tank with armor, but why push it if we do have control of the flag at the moment? I mean, no one's coming out to you know, counter us or anything like that. So, we are getting spotted by something. Something is spotting us and wanting to kill us. There's an STI over there. If we can get him, if we pull up enough. He's running away. He knows I'm here. There's that T-110E-5. And I have no shots on him. Which really is a sucky feeling. There's the Foch. If I can get zoomed in on time, I might be able to knock the crap. Oh, there we go. And there went the Foch. Not bad at all. Alrighty. So we will do what we can here to protect the flag, but it looks like we are going to probably die on this one. The Lorraine is still alive, so that's really helpful. That's really, really helpful. Unfortunately, there's an IS-7 that is spotting my buddy, and I'm going to try to knock the crap out of him, but unfortunately, he is moving very quickly. I'm not thinking I'm going to be able to hit him. See, he's being smart. He's coming up this way to try to distract us. I don't think I can... No, I'm not going to be able to do anything to him. I'm going to have to focus on the IS-7. There's the IS-7. He's giving us his butt, and he's running away. No! Not the thing we want. T-110E-5 is looking at it. Ooh! There was an FV out there, which we were not expecting to encounter. And yeah, that just definitely devastated us pretty badly. Oh, he shot over. I saw the round go right above him. Completely missed. I'm reloading, buddy. I didn't mean to tell you to halt. I just wanted to let you know I'm reloading and trying to do my best. We're gonna have to try to stop the flag. Gonna have to try to stop the flag as much as possible. Oh my goodness, we bounced. He got his turret turned around just in time to stop us. Good job for him. There's the FV doing a nasty job on us. Our E-100 is gone. We are pretty much on our own now. And we are probably going to die from all of this. Let's just see if we can... nope. We're just getting bad rolls now. Just getting bad rolls. And the FV is going to probably take us out. It's probably going to take us out. Knowing my luck. T-110E-3 still over there. Can we get him finally? Can we please kill him? Yes. We're still detected. We're still detected. There's that FV. Oh, T-54. Nice shot on our side right there. Alrighty, guys. We were defeated, unfortunately. I don't think we did bad at all. 7,000 in silver, 1,023 in experience points. We did, that's how it's done, which is a 1.25 times experience booster. Fire for effect. Unfortunately, we did not see the demolition go off, you know. That would have been neat to catch it on camera again. I've done it on live stream, but it was awesome to ammo rack that guy. That is pretty fun. We destroyed 4 tanks, 4,373 in damage, 7 penetrations, 440 blocked damage, which wasn't amazing, 847 in assisting damage. We came in first place. We did pretty well. We did really, really well. The rest of our team, you know, can't say much about them. But I can say this, we did have a lot of tier 8 or tier 9s and stuff like that. So, and they had a lot of tier 10s and tier 9s too. I can't remember how many they had, but it did seem like it's kind of an unfair game on that one. Anyways, so let's look at the efficiency of our shots. So, for the T-125, we did 524 damage on him, which is not bad. Wasn't the greatest, but he didn't have a lot of life left to him. This other T-125, we did 1,103 damage. Conqueror, 847 assisting damage. This is the random shot we took at the beginning that actually knocked the crap out of this guy. 905 damage on him. The Foch, we did 1,022 damage to him and also caught him on fire, which allowed him to die. Pretty nice. 664 damage inflicted on the STI, and to just make things better, we did an ammo racking, which is awesome, and just made him blow up. So if he would have had full life, he would have been ammo racked and blown straight up anyways. So it's just even nastier to get killed with barely any life left, but it's even nastier when you see your turret come off. You're just like, fuck. Alrighty, the Centurion, we only did 155 damage to him. We missed on him like crazy. That first shot bounced off of him. The other shots were just, you know, tracked him and stuff like that. It just did not go well with us with him. He definitely had something saving his ass. Alrighty, guys, so that is the end of this review. Now I'm going to give you my closing results, or my closing thoughts, not results, but my thoughts on the Jagdpanzer E-100. Now, you saw 2 battles, and I left both of them in there for good reason. The reason why I left the first one in there to show you, you know, the pros and cons of this tank. You know, we talked about how the traverse isn't the greatest on it, but it's not bad. We showed you the speed. We also showed you how much the gun is limited on its movement back and forth. So, there are some good things about this tank and bad things. We showed you how badly this tank can hurt somebody when you shoot at them. You know, almost 1,000 damage every single time unless they were almost dead. So the first map was pretty much like that. You know, we were able to show some of those things and stuff. But also I got to show you what I meant by this tank is limited on what it can do. It's very situational. And I'll explain it one more time that, you know, I'm not saying that this tank is bad on every map. No, I think it's good on close range maps and also long distance maps, because it does have a decent accuracy, and it's got a decent amount of armor to be able to handle different situations. But the problem you see with this tank is that it's slow. It's not terribly slow, but it is still slow, and if you don't have a group of guys backing you up, you probably are going to die if you get somebody around you or something like that. That E50M, he just got a free kill because I had nobody there to help me out. Now, if I would have died because I just kept bouncing off of him, then good for him. But unfortunately, that was not the call. That was pretty much, he just got around me and that was it. And then the second map, we were able to show you how much this thing can actually do. Now, I've done a lot more damage than that in a game. I've actually, my second game ever playing this tank, I got Top Gun. I got Mastery Badge. I got like over 7,000 or 8,000 damage, something like that. It was ridiculous amount of damage. You know, and even on this game, you saw, did a good amount of damage. We did a decent amount of, you know, job being able to go back and forth from the flag and stuff. We stayed near a couple other guys, and they were able to help us out until our team eventually, you know, fell and stuff. So it wasn't bad at all. So you could see there are some good things about this tank. There are some bad things, but overall, I'd say that the good things outweigh the bad. This is a great tier 10. I think if you guys are going down this line, it's a very good line to go down. You know, it's definitely a different beast than you can see the Waffle E-100. There's a lot more pros on this one than cons versus the Waffle E-100. I think the Waffle E-100 is a nice tank. It's got a great autoloader, but unfortunately, autoloaders aren't the most amazing thing if you're going to blow up pretty easily and stuff. So, but anyways, guys, I'm WizardKen. Thank you so much for this. I love this tank. I'm glad I got it. We're probably going to be going down the Chinese medium line, or yeah, the medium line. We're going to do the light tanks and then cross down to the mediums, and then finish off with that medium. And then I might go down the heavy line next after that, but I want to go back and get into the E-100. I want to look at that too. So we've got a couple of different tanks that I'm thinking about going down. I've also been thinking about what tanks we're going to be going down after those two lines. And I'm also thinking about doing the, you know, the Russian tank destroyers. I think that would be neat. I think going down the other American tank destroyer line would be neat. Or getting another medium. Another medium would be nice too. I've only got one medium tier 10. It would be nice to get some more. So, anyways, guys, I'm WizardKen. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit that like button. It does help us out a lot. As I said, I apologize for the lack of content like this, like reviews and first impressions, but thank you guys so much for everything. You guys are amazing. I'm WizardKen. Until next time,